count us in.
Absolutely. Give me 1 second and I'll be ready to go. I'm not quite there yet.
All right, cool. I'll put
So
a tweet out while
sorry.
you're doing things.
I have a feeling this is going to be stuff that I can wait till later, but let me see if I can get rid of this real quick. Okay. All right. Ready to record in 3. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Ready to record in 3, 2, 1. Record.
Boosh.
All right.
Ready? Just putting a tweety twat out, or a tweety twat. Yeah, I'll stick with a tweety twat. Then tweety twats. There's a lot of twats on Twitter, so
don't put that out there. Don't.
Hi, twats.
Oh no. I don't think people are. I don't think the average American would be too insulted because it's not too common of a phrase here. But I think over there, it's quite an insult, right?
Yeah, but it's not particularly harsh.
Okay.
Like you know, you call your friends twats. Like it's just one of those throwaway remarks you aim at people.
Right.
I guess context is everything. You can call somebody a twat and be mean about it, or you can call somebody a twat and be friendly about it, I suppose.
Just when they're being a twat.
Yes.
I do like. Are we live?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Maybe that will be for later, but yeah, that's a story for later.
Talking Games late night.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe for you. Actually, this is quite early for you.
Yeah, man. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now. So
yeah. What time is it over there?
Just gone 8 o'clock.
Oh wow! Yeah.
That's why and it's been like, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's been like 30 degrees every day for the last 5 days. So
that's quite warm. It's quite warm.
It's friggin' toasty. I think it's like maybe 90-ish.
Yeah.
And for this country, that is hot.
Right.
Like we don't do extreme.
It's very cloudy there. Usually
Alejandro's telling you to come out with it. Whatever you were gonna say.
It was dirty, and I don't want to say it on
He's Canadian, so they're all potty mouths. Those Canadians.
I definitely appreciate that, and trust me, every Canadian I know has been absolutely filthy.
Same. But I know a lot of Canadians, and they're all very, very potty mouthed, and I appreciate that greatly about them.
It's cold up there. You have to spice things up however you can.
Right.
Actually, I think Canada's enjoying some toasty weather. It's like
for them.
It's their second season. They have winter and they have July.
Funny.
Enough of the dad jokes for Canada.
All right. Well, we can start
I'm good
the
to go.
podcast as and when you're ready, dude.
Are we? So is this? I don't know when this is coming out. Do we know that?
As and when you're ready, I suppose. I mean, if you can edit it and put it out today, you can feel free to do so.
That's a possibility.
Failing that, unless you want to play it safe and say tomorrow, the 30th.
30 days. So okay. Yes, let's say the 30th.
And we can always just archive this straight away and put it out on YouTube this evening.
I can also just say, "Hi, today is," and then go in later and just say July 1st or something like that.
Sunday,
July
1st.
Yeah, that might be better. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talking Games podcast. This is episode 201 of Talking Games. I am joined by Mr. Hugh Perry.
Hello.
And no one else.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. There we go. Sticking with tradition.
There we go. That's it. Exactly right. Yeah, you sang that last time, right?
Every damn time. I'm a man of little repertoire and, a lot of repetition.
You're nothing but consistent.
Yep, that's me.
So this is, like I said, our 201st episode. We had our 200th episode spectacularama.
Yeah, so this is the countdown, really. This is just going to be a bit boring, this episode.
We're
all feeling a bit like we're on the come down after the party. There was a lot of drinks, there was a lot of girls, there was a lot of drugs, and boys too.
Of course. Yeah.
So yeah, we're all
various pinatas.
Yeah. Some llama shaped because Matt got Fortnite.
I still have not played it. I have it.
I bet your friggin' building skills are phenomenal by now. I bet you've been like stream sniping Ninja and just been like wrecking him every game.
I have. If you've been watching his Twitch stream, I'm the guy that's been doing that. I don't know if I'm Matt-tastic 4 or I don't know. Does Switch have names? Do we have names on Switch?
I suppose maybe it would use your Epic account name.
Okay. All right. Well,
possibly.
Don't have one of those. So.
Surely you got.
So,
well,
yeah.
You will do when you play the game because you got a lot.
Right. Exactly. I have not. Like I said, I haven't. I've downloaded it, but that's as far as I've gone.
You can log in, and as long as you haven't played it on PlayStation 4 with an account.
Yeah. I have not done that. Yeah. So that's the case, right? Like if I have it on my phone, I can use that account, right?
Correct. And on Xbox and on PC.
Oh well, let me tell you about Xbox.
PlayStation 4 because they're a big bunch of grumpy bollocks.
Let me tell you about Xbox and Nintendo. Those two are BFFs.
Yeah, man, they've been dropping some serious shit. Did you see that trailer they put out?
Let's
play together, guys. Woo!
Exactly. Did you see that little tweet chain?
Yeah.
Did you see Xbox saying that their body is ready?
Yeah.
Oh, they should be ashamed of themselves.
I know, you can't say things like that to Nintendo.
Right, exactly. Nintendo seemed...
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're like the cuddly dad video games companies.
I expected like some kind of like... I don't know. Because they were back and forth so much that I was expecting like some like I don't know, like pictures of like...
penises.
Chibi... I always expect that. But like Chibi Samus and Chibi Master Chief just like...
Yeah.
Banging their heads together, their helmets together, and...
Yeah,
saying,
like fist bumping and stuff.
Exactly. I have the what's the bad alien? What's the parasite in Halo?
The Flood.
The Flood. It's the Flood. Yeah. So you got Flood in my Metroids. You got Metroids in my Flood. I don't know. Yeah,
that would kind of work actually. I mean, visually they're kind of similar.
I think we're here to finally say that Halo is just a big old ripoff of Metroid.
Yeah. Bobby just shifted awkwardly in his seat.
Right.
Like, so this is the official my baby.
This is the official Talking Games stamp and stance on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is
established today, and hang on, you can only veto this with words. So is anybody here willing to veto that? No.
Bobby had his chance.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. There we go.
Bobby had his opportunity and he decided not to say anything.
Folks.
He got his approval. Yes.
Metroid ripoff.
Also, yes, Halo Prime coming in 2020. It'll be like Halo, but with not as good controls.
And Master Chief can roll around.
You can see Master Chief's reflection in his visor.
Yeah.
Can you? You can't. No, it's not first. Well, yeah, it's, duh. Yes, of course, it's a first person, but they don't do that, right? That was just like a uniquely
No.
Metroid Prime thing, right? Seeing Samus's face through a visor.
No, I think that's specifically a Metroid thing.
That was a good thing. I like that.
It was cool.
So Hugh, do you have any like exciting news? Any kind of what have you been playing here?
I've been playing a few things. I picked up I spent a mammoth £6 on two things in the Steam sale recently. I got
Okay.
the digital version of the tabletop game
No, still.
Tokaido, which is really cool. The basis of which is it's set in Japan, and I think there's 6 characters, and each character has like a special ability. And what happens is you just travel from sort of one place in Japan to another, and you visit you have little spots that you can stop at on the way, and the aim is to collect as many points as possible. But you collect points by like there's some places you stop at, and they're like sort of like beauty spots. So you stop there and you paint part of like that landscape. So you have to stop at like that type of landscape 3 times, and then you finish the painting and you get points for it. These are the ones where you can stop at shops. You can buy gifts for your friends, and certain gifts have like points values attributed to them. So it's basically about sort of trying to plan ahead and think, right, next I want to go to this place because I need to pick up this stuff or I need to get more money. Also tactically thinking about what other players have got, in terms of like maybe somebody's got sort of 2 pieces of one of the portraits that they painted, so you could go to the third and block them from getting to it and stuff like that. So it's kind of sort of like a strategy resource gathering game based in sort of Edo period Japan, and it's cool. It's got a really nice aesthetic to it as well, and it's like, I think it was like maybe £2.50 on Steam at the moment in the sale. And the other game I picked up, which was something Bobby recommended to me, which is called The Yorg. And it's written and drawn by... Hang on, let me grab the book a second.
Hugh is grabbing a book right now. If you are listening to the podcast, he is
It's
back.
written by Emily Carroll.
Okay.
And also drawn by her too. Who, if you're a comic book reader, you may know her from Through the Woods.
Oh, right. Yeah. Cool.
Which is a very good, if you like horror stories.
Yeah. Spooky.
Good.
It's a spooky one, isn't it?
Yeah. Really good. And it's very interesting. It's I suppose you could call it like a graphic choose your own adventure. So basically you start off, I think there's 4 characters to pick from. And it's sort of local multiplayer. So each person gets a turn, and each person can select to go to... They're basically in this town, and you can select to go to an area in that town, and it'll give you 2 actions you can do. So you can go to the hospital, and you can help treat people, or you can... I'm not sure what the other option was. Something like maybe get like treatment for something for yourself. But the basic...
Treatment yourself.
Yeah, treatment yourself. In a Batman costume. So the basic sort of goal is to get like it only takes about half an hour to play through it. But it's randomized, and the basic goal of it is to try and stop this thing called the Yorg happening. So the first playthrough I went through, I picked this lady, and I was like, right, okay. First thing I did was, I was like, I'll go to the woods. So you go to the woods, and I was like, okay, I'll chop some wood, and then it comes up as like, you're chopping wood, and you hear a rustling in amongst the trees. What do? You can either like attack the thing that's in the woods with your axe, or you can run away. So I was like, okay, I'll run away. And it's like, you tried to run away, but a werewolf chases you down and bites you.
Mm.
And you wake up in the morning with no wound and you feel completely fine. Um, and then the next character, like I did a few things with him, and then there was this one bit where I was like, okay, I'll go into town and I'll start drinking. So I go into the town, I go into like the bar, and this like dark figure comes up to me and sort of like tries to beckon me into this room, and I'm like, no way. But this dark figure basically has the power of suggestion over you, calls you
Yeah.
into a room, and long story short, you get bitten and turned into a vampire. So on my first playthrough, I did not see off the Yorg,
No.
but
You don't want to in your first playthrough,
no,
right? I
no, no, it would be an
mean,
anticlimax if I was like,
yeah.
I
You kind of want your ass kicked a little.
yeah, I mean, all the way through my life, I've been kind of like, if I ever come up against the Yorg, the last thing I want to do is have the anticlimax of like beating it first time around. And I'm
Right.
sure many people, have felt that way throughout their lifetime. But it's cool. Like, there's some like really nice music in it, which just changes and fits what's going on really, really nicely. The art, unsurprisingly, is very cool, and it's like really well written. And it's also kind of got like an RPG element as well, because when you do certain actions, so sort of like say if you get drunk, which one thing I
Mm.
found funny, if you get drunk, you gain like one charisma. So so you have like there's one characteristic for like wealth, there's one for your strength, and so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of sort of like RPG element to it. And that's also on sale on Steam right now. And if you've got Steam and you like comics, and also video games, obviously, and sort of something that's a bit different, because I don't think I've ever really played a video game that plays exactly like that before. I really, really recommend it because it's damn good fun. And like I said, you can play it like local co-op as well. And also me and Bobby were talking about it, and I think one time we're maybe going to do a stream where like we screen share with each other, and we can play it together, where sort of like one person sort of controls what's going on, and the other person sort of tells what they want to do. So it'd be quite a fun one to do a stream of that, because it's
Right.
it's such a unique game to look at. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of The Division, because now they've got these things in there, and they're releasing more sporadically, 4 at a time, called I can't remember. I think they're called shields. And basically, long story short, is just you have a bunch of objectives. Each shield has different objectives, and every time you gain a shield, it's basically all towards earning rewards that you'll get when you start playing Division 2. So some of them, like the one me and my friend did the other day, was like kill 10 named enemies in general play, 10 named enemies in missions, and 10 named enemies in the Dark Zone. So we did that one. There was another one where it was like clear 25 landmarks in the Dark Zone. And you get like a badge, so you get like a cosmetic item, and you also get like caches as well. So when you unlock the caches, you get like 2 or 3 reward items, and they're like high level reward items too. But basically right now, there's 4 of these shields you can do. And
Sorry, Hugh. You cut out for just a second,
oh,
but you're back.
my
You're back.
apologies.
You're back. Nah, it's fine. I think it might have been my end, honestly.
So yeah, there's 4 of these shields that you can earn right now, and basically, if you complete them all, it'll entitle you for 2 reward tiers, like the first and second reward tiers for whatever they're going to give you when Division 2 comes out. And I think there's another 3 or 4 lots of 4 shields coming out before Division 2 comes out. And like I'm really enjoying playing that game again. Like it was one of those games that kind of, it was good when it first came out but missed the mark. But I think if you're playing it now, by the way, if you're an Xbox One user and you've got Game Pass, it's on Game Pass now, so you can pick it up. It's a really, really good RPG cover-based shooter. It's good fun, and there's tons and tons of stuff to do in it. So they've turned it into a really impressive game, and assuming that they've taken the lessons they've learned from the first Division game on board and take them into Division 2, I think Division 2 could be like something really, really special. So, yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. Tell us about your latest acquisition.
Oh boy, I am excited about
This
that.
one's a
But first,
doozy.
I'm going to start off with some bad news, or a little sadder news. I woke up this morning, and apparently this, it happened like technically 2 days ago, and it was announced yesterday. But one of my favorite writers, and I'm going to tie this back to video games, but Harlan Ellison died.
Oh yeah, that was sad. Yeah, I saw about that.
Yeah, I mean, he was not to speak ill of the dead, but he was infamously, a bit of an asshole, but a very talented one and a great storyteller. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because one of my probably, I wouldn't say top 10, but it's high up there. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. I used to play it on my PC back when I was 11 and getting into such things as science fiction and all that. And I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there because while he was not a game designer, he was involved with that adaptation of his short story, and I think it's one of my favorite games. And you can buy it right now for the low price of $1.50 on Steam.
Oh, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a point and click game, but he wrote it. He does the voice of the AI in it, and
Cool.
I don't know. It's a neat little thing. I just wanted to throw out there.
I can't even say that I knew that existed, so that'd be cool. Yeah, I mean that guy, as far as sci-fi writers go, was a legend. I mean, he's the guy who wrote like the City on the Edge of Forever,
Twilight Zone, and Alfred Hitchcock, and
So yeah, he wrote some absolute classic stuff. So yeah, it's a sad loss. But funnily enough, I was on Twitch earlier on, and Brian Hitch was tweeting about like some experiences he had with him, and Brian
probably
Hitch
not good
English, and he said the initial sort of interactions were awkward because basically like Brian Hitch obviously walked up to him and said like, "Hi, I'm a big fan," and what he got back was what he described as a Dick Van Dyke style like Cockney impression of him. So he kind of like got a bit annoyed by that and just sort of said, thanks for the Dick Van Dyke impression, and walked off. But then he said later on they sort of bumped into each other again, and it just kind of like became a bit of a joke between them. And then he said they started getting on quite well once they started talking to each other. But he said he was like, the guy was just, every time you were speaking to him, you were just sort of almost in fear of what he might say.
Right.
He was just so damn ferocious.
Yeah. He's one of these, mid-century, a little late mid-century writers that's just, kind of a curmudgeon, not entirely a great guy, but a very talented, storyteller and creative mind. And I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for point and click games back in those early PC days.
Hell yeah!
And that was definitely one of the more fun and more definitely one that stuck with me a lot more than some of the other ones I played.
Oh, I'll have to give that a go because I used to really enjoy like. One of my favorite games from when I was a kid was the Monkey Island series. So I used to really enjoy
if you can roll with that Scum engine, that kind of LucasArts Scum engine thing, then this one would be right up your alley.
Oh, cool. I'll check it out.
But it's not funny. It's very dark, but still it's good.
Cool.
So yes, I was visiting my brother in Kansas City, and I had some time to myself. So I drove out to Olathe, Kansas. Shout out to all the listeners in the middle of nowhere.
Yo.
I'm sorry you live there, but I was looking for used game stores, just to like kind of see what was out there, and I found a video game store called Video Games.
It does what it says on the tin.
It was right on the sign. It just said, "This is what we are, video games." And they were sadly, like a lot of other independent used game stores, going out of business. But they sold me a Sega CD. I told them if it works, I will buy it. And we tested it, and it didn't work. And the guy said, "Give me 30 minutes." And I said, "For a Sega CD, I would give you 30 minutes."
Yeah.
And he got it working well enough, and I tested it out. One of the problems we had with it, every time it would eject, you put a disc in, and it would take it back in, because this was a Model 1. They made a second model, which was probably the one that most people remember, the one that kind of was on the side of the Genesis.
That's the one I remember, yeah.
Yeah. It looked like a Walkman kind of thing, where, it had the lid instead of like the tray. And those work a lot better. But this one was a Model 1. And of course, as you know, more moving parts, the more likely it is that it is going to break. But yeah, every time it would take a disc in, it would just eject it right back out, And I went online, went on some forums to figure out what was the problem. And not surprisingly, it was the driver belt. And rubber, after 27 years of disuse, it tends to dry out and take whatever shape it was last left in. So I removed the driver belt, and something that should have been a tight circle looked more like a Cadbury egg, I guess. Just kind of a weird oval. So I was like, yeah, that's probably it. So I went to the hardware store, went to plumbing, bought some O-rings, and after about 30 minutes, got back up and running, and it's now fighting fit.
Nice, sure. You're a quality tinkerer. It's got to be said, Matt.
It's fun. I got my. I have this it's right over here, but I have this box full of like precision tools and like soldering irons and things like that.
What a man.
It's every once in a while when you mess with old games, like occasionally you're like, I gotta get that thing out.
Have you got a drawer of like cables that you don't know where they came from as well?
Yes, yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
because you can never throw any of them out because you never know when you might need them. Yeah,
and who knows? You never know when you need a AC adapter when you're in Japan. So don't want to throw that out.
I know. I was in exactly that bound recently. It was chaos.
Yep. But yeah, I got to get that out. I got to take the driver belt out. It was a lot of fun putting it back together. And the great thing about the Sega CD is if you are into some nefarious, filthy, illegal downloading of ROMs, you can burn games to a CDR and pop them in your Sega CD, and the Sega CD is none the wiser for it. So
only the worst of humanity download ROMs and play them.
Yes, I would never do that. These are all backups of my full library of Sega CD games that I obviously have.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I have. I have a copy of Snatcher and Painful Mail and all this stuff. I don't, but no, it took me a while because, it's not as easy as say like throwing some MP3s on a disc and popping them in your CD player. Like it's 2006. It's a little bit more of a process, but about 1:00 at night last night, I finally I was having a problem where I could get the games onto the disc, but I couldn't get the music disc. So I'm playing like Sonic CD and there's just no music. But the sound effects are there and like the gameplay's there, but it's like dead quiet, which, oddly enough, a lot of those Sonic games, the music's pretty necessary. Like static silence
But
is
yeah,
not.
playing a Sonic game with no music would just be weird.
It's very unsettling. It's very awkward because you still hear the whoop when he jumps and things like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, no music behind there was no good. But I figured it out last night, and now I have been playing Sega CD like there's no tomorrow. I'm very happy. I'm very excited with my recent purchase. But yeah, it looks cool. It's a sleek little piece of chunky hardware. I was glad, I was glad because small things like replacing a small belt that you can buy literally for like 50 cents at a hardware store, people are like, well, it just doesn't work anymore, throw it out. And I don't know, I always find that a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I
People,
guess that is, you're right. I guess it's a similar thing to like a record player as well, because
yeah.
anything that has like rotary moving parts will have a rubber band in
Yeah.
it, like a drive belt, like you say. So
Hmm.
it stands to reason that because they're made of rubber over time, they're going to degrade.
Yeah.
And more often than not with something like that, because they're not like a disc mechanism isn't a complicated piece of machinery. It's just some cogs slotting together with a motor. So it stands to reason most of the time, unless the actual motor itself is gone, then there's probably nothing that
Yeah.
you
Everything
can't
else is
fix.
pretty easily replaceable. Yeah, even like things like capacitors and changing those out, as long as you're like semi. Because I'm not like a precision I can't like establish a motherboard or anything like that, but I can take out a capacitor. I could like solder. I have basic soldering skills, and it's just like a little bit of know-how. Like you can get these things back up and running pretty easily.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of a bummer with old systems because you either have people who find them and think nobody wants this because who would want this thing, and they just chuck it out, or they try to actually get up and running, and one small thing goes wrong, and they're like, "Oh, the whole thing's broken." And I don't know. I don't want to sound like a hoarder or something like all these things need to be saved. But with the Sega CD, there's only like 2 million of them out there, and that sounds like a large number, but it really isn't.
No,
And
not for a
you
games
know,
console. No.
yeah. So I mean, it's a bummer whenever you find out that these things just get tossed aside. At the very least, with these old game consoles, maybe they don't work, but they can always be scrapped for parts. So don't throw away your game systems, guys. Just donate them to a local store or send them to Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, so
And
Matt can retrofit them.
exactly.
So
There's
they
always something you can do.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I I think the one thing I've always found with older games consoles, especially like the ones with like a power brick,
Hmm.
like those are the ones that you really got to worry about because the power bricks on them are like terrible for dying. Like I think, like I've still got my original NES, but like the power pack I've got for it is probably about the fourth or fifth
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they just go. But
Hmm.
I'd rather they die than the console itself.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Another thing that like people are constantly guilty of, but it's just small mistakes. I'm not saying you're a bad electronics owner for this happening, but you are. But like Game Boys and things like that, people leave batteries in them, and they haven't touched them in years, and then corrosion happens, and the Game
Yeah,
Boys,
I mean the
Game
worst
Boys, is
thing
no
with the
good.
original Game Boy was the glue on the screen cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I not long ago dug my Game Boy out after probably about 6 or 7 years of not touching it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I wonder if it still works. So I pulled it out and I just like took it out of the case, and the screen cover fell off, and I was like, oh fuck, the screen's fallen out, and I was like, oh no, the screen's actually behind this thing. So
Yeah.
like I just
But
went
is
on
that nice little border, that
yeah
little gray border? Yeah.
yeah, so I just went on eBay and it was like £2,
Mm-hmm.
and just got a replacement, and it wasn't like it was actually pretty good. Actually, it had like really strong adhesive tape on it as opposed to glue. So hopefully that'll be a bit more robust in terms of holding itself together for a while. But like,
Yeah,
it's funny when it falls off because there's just like this horrible yellow, like dried up glue behind it, and you're like,
it's kind of sunken in.
yeah,
It's this
it
weird
looks
looking. It looks
horrible.
like the Game Boy's tired.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's one of the coolest things about nowadays is with the advent of like 3D printers and screen printing. Like replacement parts for video games have never been more readily accessible.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I suppose
I've
you can make
seen
anything these days with a 3D printer. So
yeah, I've seen people like make like there's part stores that I go to online that have like the legs and the visor screen for like Virtual Boys, and it's
oh
like
wow,
yeah, it's like they probably don't sell too many of them, but it's nice to know that if I ever find a random Virtual Boy, it's like, well, that getting it up to fighting fit is not an impossibility anymore.
man,
So,
I probably would get on a plane and come over just to play Virtual Boy.
they had one at the store, and I asked them how much, and they're like, "No, it's not for sale." I'm like,
Oh, okay, wow, okay,
yeah, I hate it because the Sega CD, they gave me a really fair price. It came with the box and everything, so that's like,
nice.
the ultimate, if you're
Yeah.
collecting. But yeah, like I would have had to buy both if they would have sold me that Virtual Boy.
You should have done like a American Pickers type thing. It was like, well, I really want that, but I also want that. So how about I give
Right.
you this much for the the Sega CD,
They had,
and
they had that. They had the box. Because they have stuff on display.
yeah,
They had the box, the ROB edition of the NES. So that
wow.
first shipment of NESs
Yeah.
that came out. They had a ROB, which I've never seen a ROB for sale. I would love to have one,
Dang.
even though he doesn't do anything except slowly move. But like this, there's really cool. The Sega, like I'm happy with my console collection. The Sega CD was one of the last things that I was like, that and Virtual Boy are like those are what I would like. I would like to have them. I don't need them, but just to have them in the collection would be nice.
Yeah.
And now that I have the Sega CD, I have to ask myself: is it stupid to want to get the 32X? Do I want to complete the Tower of Power?
You probably should.
It's not like the Sega CD is the bigger one. It's the harder one to find. So getting the last little guy to pop on top of there to make my Genesis look like it's on life support.
Well, it kind of was at that stage.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
yeah,
man, Nintendo put out Donkey Kong Country. We have to do something. All right, let's sell this big stupid thing that goes on top of your Genesis.
Yeah. So what exactly? That was just like basically just like an upgrade, wasn't it? It wasn't. Like
It just all it did was it gave the Genesis like a bit of it allowed for more RAM essentially. So it had like a little bit of a faster processor.
Yeah.
It just basically it bulked it up just a little bit to where it was comparable to say like a Jaguar or something like that. Not that which is nothing that you should really want to compete with, but
no.
I mean,
well, wasn't the Jaguar like the first 64-bit console?
Technically,
kind
yes,
of.
but like that. I don't want to talk ill about the marketing skills of Atari, but take everything Atari ever says with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So,
Other than the fact that we bury games in deserts, yeah.
Yeah, especially after the 80s, yes. Atari is probably lying to you if they're trying to sell you something.
Oh, okay.
If you're
Which
buying
is
an
funny,
Atari
seeing
box,
as how they're
that's
about
great,
to buy.
yes, but they are currently trying to get people to back Roller Coaster Tycoon. They're trying to get people to buy hats with speakers in them and other silly things, but Atari just go in there. Atari's not going to sell you a piece of gold.
No.
Yeah, they're trying to get. Yeah, They're trying to give you magic beans.
The thing I always remember about the Jaguar was the controller. Like,
oh
what a
god,
fucking piece of shit that thing was.
like it had like that like telephone like the
Yeah,
9
it was
buttons like at
weird,
the
and the
bottom.
games came with those like sheets that you put over them, so it would
Right.
tell you what to do. And it was like,
Exactly.
you had like a ton of buttons on it already, and then you had like these like 10 like buttons, then like you say, laid out like a phone with digits on them.
And they were never necessary.
No,
And like especially look at the game like there's only like, probably 4 or 5 games that are kind of worth getting for the Jaguar. Granted, most of them got ported to the PlayStation or better systems, the Saturn maybe. But like the better games for the Jaguar, they didn't need 14 buttons. They didn't need a full telephone keypad.
no. Alejandro's asking if you have a TurboGrafx CD, which is
I would
that we were talking about
love
that
it.
before.
I would love to have a TurboGrafx and a TurboGrafx CD, but I cannot justify the purchase of one. Mostly because, not that finding one is just completely out of like the realm of possibility, but collecting for a TurboGrafx at this point is a very, very expensive rabbit hole to fall into. And as much as I love Bonk and Legendary Axe and all those other great games, I'm probably not going to commit to the TurboGrafx lifestyle.
Yeah,
I
think that one is one for the way of emulation.
Yeah, sadly, because they're definitely like the TurboGrafx is not a bad system. It's got a cool library, but because it has a cool library, yeah, it's going to cost you. It's going to be pricey.
Yeah, boy.
You gotta get your Huw cards spelled HU. Not HUW. Sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Her cards. I mean, the one game I remember playing on the Jaguar was Aliens versus Predator.
Yep.
And at the time, I can remember thinking it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't no, it was a bad system. It was. It was
a bad system.
But it didn't mean that there weren't decent games on it.
No, it was just poorly designed.
Yeah.
And
I know they famously sold unused Jaguars to a dental company, like a dental hygienist company that sold dentist equipment. Yeah. And so at some dentist, if you were to go back in time to say like the 2000s, early 2000s, you would probably see a retrofitted shell of a Jaguar with like tubes and things coming out of it because some company bought unused Jaguars and converted them to like dental picks and things like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. There are pictures floating around online of like these like this was once a Jaguar, but now it cleans your teeth.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to Google some of that. That'll have to be the main image for the post for this podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. When video companies go out of business and they got to liquidate all their assets, you turn to interesting places for money.
It's pretty. The amount of fucking weird stuff Atari's done in its lifetime, like that whole thing with the ET game, like burying it in the desert, and
it's just like just weird business decision after weird business decision. And it was especially like the late 70s Atari. Like you just hear about like their studios in California, and it's just like oh yeah, they had a hot tub on campus, and like they would have parties all the time, and like there was like drug use and orgies and all this crazy stuff going on. And it's just like video game companies in the late 70s were not fun places to work, apparently.
Wow.
Are too fun.
I was going to say some of them don't sound particularly great to work for now. So.
Right, exactly.
But
yeah, now they're just
making games like Detroit Become Human and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right. We actually have a caller lined up for this show. Shall we get him in?
Absolutely.
All right, don't sound too keen, Matt. God.
Absolutely. No, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I just don't know how to do that. Right?
It's all right. I can do it.
Okay, cool.
I think. How do I do it? Call. Nope, that ended that. Oh.
Hi, Huw.
Hello. Hang on. I need to send Greg a message. I sent him a friend request, but he hasn't accepted it yet.
I'm sending you that Jaguar dental pick.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. I was like, maybe if I just click on Greg's name, I can add him to the call. And it was just like, bam, shut the call down. I was like, oh, okay. That ended that.
There you go.
Oh, wow. It looks like... it looks like a toilet roll dispenser.
I know, but it's crazy. That thing once played really bad video games.
Yeah.
I like that it still kind of has a cartridge in it, you know?
Yeah. It probably does. Like, hopefully, like, dentists never had to use anything as complicated as a Jaguar controller.
It's Tempest 2000 in there or something like that.
Oh, that was one of the other good.
That one I think came with the Jaguar. I'm not sure, but I think it did.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is going well. You might have to do some editing at this point, Matt.
That's all right. That's fine. It's quite all right.
Okay.
I remember the Jaguar had really obnoxious commercials with the teacher screaming at her students to like do the math and how like, you know, the 32X has 32 bits and the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo have 16 bits and Atari has 64 bits. So which one's better?
I think a lot of games console adverts were obnoxious in this game. Right. Let's try it again. Let's try and bring him in. Here we go. This looks promising.
And
yeah, there he is.
Welcome to the party. We've been talking about the Atari Jaguar.
I heard that a little bit. How's it going, Huw?
Hey, I'm Matt. Good, man.
Hi. Oh, what is your favorite Atari Jaguar game, Greg?
I've never played Atari Jaguar.
Don't touch one. They're bad. They're bad for you.
I wouldn't know where to find one.
I wouldn't either.
It's probably for the best.
A dumpster in 1996.
In dentist practices, obviously.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
So for those I don't know why such a person would exist. In all honesty, caller, would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Hi everyone. My name's Greg. I'm a listener of Talking Games and pretty much almost every Talking Comics podcast.
And the immortal question for every single person we ever have on this podcast is, tell us about your history with gaming.
Well, first game console I have ever owned was a Sega Genesis. It was a hand-me-down.
Nice.
It's a good starter.
So start off with the Genesis, worked my way through with some handhelds from there. Game Boy Pocket, I think, is where I started with the handhelds. And then just kept on going all the way through the PS4 now. Didn't really get too much into the Xbox. I got an Xbox, got a 360, but those were, hand-me-downs after they pretty much had already gone end of life.
That's probably the best way to do it with Xboxes.
Yeah.
They've always been consoles whose like lifespan have been 50% good, 50% either build up or come down. I've found.
They never had much of an appeal for me.
Yeah.
Their exclusives were, I know a lot of people like them, but they weren't. I was more of a role-playing game kind of player, so
Oh yeah,
they
definitely the
became,
Xbox was not that. Yeah.
No.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing
they
with
didn't have
PlayStation.
Fable.
You always have like a lot of JRPGs on it, don't you? So,
Hmm.
which is yeah. I mean, unless you're a PC user, the console you want to have if you want to play JRPGs or RPGs in general is probably the PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah. So basically, have you had like every single PlayStation, or did you skip any?
Yeah, no, I had every single PlayStation.
Nice.
Um, Usually got them out 3 years after they already came out or so,
Mm.
but yeah, I ended up with every single PlayStation.
Sweet.
That's
And
always good though. If you jump in halfway through a console's life cycle, like the because you're always waiting for games those first 2 years. Like you're always sitting there just waiting for stuff to come out.
oh yeah, the
Mm.
PS4 was basically a desert for the
Yeah,
first like
yeah.
12, 18 months of its lifespan. So
Mhm.
you're probably wise there. How
And
long
so
have you had your
you
PS4?
jump on any piece of shit. Yeah.
I've had my PS4 since 2014, so about
Oh,
4 years
okay.
now.
And we've only just become friends on there. I'm offended, Greg.
You know, I didn't know you existed until you
Most
came
people.
on the Talking Games podcast.
To be fair, most people still don't, and yeah, that's fair. So all right, I'll let you off on that one. I'll let you off.
Ah,
But what are your favorite games then? Give us like maybe your like off the top of your head, just top 5 games that you love.
All right. It's gonna be older games for sure.
Oh,
Number
good.
one game. Number number one game is Lunar Silver Star Story.
Okay. All right. All right.
wow, left field.
That's the game that got me into JRPGs.
So that's
So
a PS1. PS1, right?
I so I played it on the PS1, but I know it came out this it came out on like the Sega. Oh, what's that called?
CD.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Lunar what was it the blue? What Lunar Blue? It wasn't called Lunar Blue, but it had
It
like
was
something in the title.
like Blue Star Story or something like
Blue,
that.
yeah. There was two Lunar games that came out on the Sega CD, but I think they, like most games that came on the Sega CD that were good, were later put on like the PlayStation, like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely my number one game. I've probably played that 3 or 4
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, you've made Matt probably want to spend some money now.
Yeah, yep.
Next one would probably be you know, I really really enjoyed Persona 5.
It's a
So
damn
that's
fine
gonna
game.
probably when that thing came out, that's the only game I played for a really long time.
If you're a JRPG fan, then like that game is probably like, well, your dream come true really, because it's as JRPG gets. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
It's stellar music.
yeah, that to this day I listen to that soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
These next ones, no particular order. Pokemon.
Nice.
Oh, which a specific one, or
Uh,
just the franchise?
you. If I'm gonna go with the specific one, I'm gonna say Silver.
All right.
Okay.
We'll have to see how Kelsey reacts to this.
I'm a big Lugia fan. Next game would probably be Fable. I really enjoyed that game.
Nice.
Okay.
It's a damn fine game. Were you hoping for Fable 2 to be announced at E3?
I've given up much hopes on a Fable
Yeah.
I think everybody has.
You're certainly not going to get one from what's his name, Peter Mono something. What's the guy's name? You're from the UK.
I don't know, Peter Mayhew.
There you go. Yeah, Chewbacca,
Yeah.
the game designer.
I don't know. I can't remember his name. All I remember is Peter as well. I know who
Yeah.
you mean though.
Yeah, the Connect guy.
Yeah.
Last game, Knights of the Old Republic.
Nice. A fine
I got-
choice. Fine choice.
I got in trouble for talking about Knights of the Old Republic a couple of weeks ago. I have nothing wrong to say about the game. The game is good. I just don't like that era of Star Wars. The game is good. The world. Bobby.
I will say I'm with you on that, Matt. I'll agree with you on that one. I'm not a fan of that era of Star Wars, but
Yes.
KOTOR is a damn good game.
Yes, in the realm of video games, it's perfectly fine. I don't want a KOTOR movie though. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't think we're gonna get any Star Wars.
I don't think I have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, if no one's going to go see a Han Solo movie, they sure as hell are not going to go see a KOTOR movie.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me and Matt?
It can be personal questions.
Putting you on the spot, yeah.
Nothing about video games. Like Huw, how do you sleep? On which side?
How do you sleep at night?
I don't think I have any questions really. None that I can think of.
It's fair enough.
That's fine. We don't have interesting answers. So.
Speak for yourself, Matt.
I'll make something of it.
Yeah. Matt will be like,
I love the Atari Jaguar.
and it's weird. Have you ever seen the controller for the Atari Jaguar, Greg?
No, I have not.
Oh man,
It sucks. I'm curious. What is the going price for an Atari Jaguar today?
let's find out.
Yeah, let's see if it's worth buying and streaming Atari Jaguar content. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not.
Yeah,
but
at your nearest possible convenience, Greg, just Google Atari Jaguar controller, and it'll make your fucking nose bleed.
Nope, 200 plus for an Atari Jaguar.
Really?
No way. Yeah, there's dummies out there.
Man, that's crazy. Like you could get a Dreamcast for less than that.
You can get a Dreamcast like $30, and you can burn the entire library for it. Yeah,
I know they're different companies, but I suppose they were a similar era. I guess
it's weird. Like I have to imagine that the Sega Saturn had to have sold better than the Dreamcast, right?
I guess.
Maybe not. I don't know, but I see Dreamcast everywhere, and they're great. If you don't own a Dreamcast and you want to do like old video game stuff, get a Dreamcast. Dreamcast is great. It's awesome.
This controller is horrendous.
Yeah. There's no good way to put your hands on it, which is the one thing that a controller should do right.
It makes Xbox's Duke controller look like the greatest thing ever designed in the history of mankind.
I have to say this though: the box for an Atari Jaguar is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's just a big cat eyes and all black.
Yeah.
Not even a picture of the damn system. Like we're not gonna tell you what it looks like, because if you see what it looks like, you're gonna buy it.
It looks like a toilet seat lid. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. If we put a scary kitty cat on there, though,
really cool, like sort of retro 80s font.
It literally must be the only video game console to not have a picture of the damn console on the box.
I was going to say the Dreamcast did.
Did it?
I think it had that swirly blue logo.
Yeah. Well, no, the Dreamcast had like it was hard to see the picture, but it was like that kind of like filter where it's like all purple and orangey and all that stuff. But like you could still see. And let me tell you, that controller for the Dreamcast, that's a bad design.
With that weird little thing that you put inside it with the screen.
Right.
Like a fucking Tamagotchi.
The cord went below the controller.
Yeah.
Not over it. Like that was awful because you're always getting like
for it to be comfortable, you'd have to play it upside down, like looking at the ceiling.
Where do you land on the GameCube controller?
You know, I didn't have too many issues with the GameCube controller. For some reason, it felt, I'm not gonna say intuitive, but
Hmm.
I didn't have as much difficulty figuring that controller out as much with some other controllers.
I think I love it. I mean, I think the best controller design is the fact that Sony has stuck with the DualShock for 4 console generations with very minor alterations is a testament to like just how much they hit that out of the
Yeah,
park.
the
But
DualShock is like a brilliant
yeah,
piece of design. Like
I
in
mean,
terms of, I do really like the Xbox One controller as well, but I just think in terms
sure,
of like
Yeah.
something that can fit in pretty much anyone's hands, that's easy for like most people to grasp, like put their hands around and play.
hmm
The sticks are nicely placed. You know, like the buttons feel good. Um, it's a like really nicely designed controller. But
right.
I
It's simple too. I
yeah,
love that.
and I've got a lot of time for the Nintendo Pro controller is very good as well.
Right.
It's not
I
too far
just
removed from the Xbox
I
One
want
controller.
more opportunity to use it. Oh, Justin sent me a link to a Kickstarter because I was playing a lot of those Switch arcade games, and in most of the Switch arcade games, you can put the layout going vertically instead of horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tilt the screen of the Switch on its side and play it like an arcade cabinet. But there's a Kickstarter designing a cradle for the Switch screen that you can connect the Joy Cons to, so you
Oh,
can
I saw
hold
that.
it. Yeah, no,
I didn't realize there's a Kickstarter. I saw photos of it with like the
yeah,
Switch and the cradle with the Joy Cons either side.
it's
Um,
got about 10 days left on it. Like it was because I literally the night before he sent it to me apropos of nothing except for me talking about playing Donkey Kong on the podcast. But the night before, I was playing Donkey Kong, and I literally had the screen in my lap, and I was holding the Joy Cons like this, and I was like, "This is just not good. This is not how it's meant to be played." And then as soon as I saw that, and I was worried, I was like, "Okay, how much is this going to be?" And then it was like $12. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, $12. Yeah, let's go. Let's
I
do
suppose
this."
really it's only a piece of molded plastic, isn't it?
Right,
So
yeah. I mean, and it's designed to where like it's not covering up any of the vents of the Switch, so like it's getting good airflow. It's not covering up a bunch of the buttons. It's you know,
I just saw
I'm sold.
Alejandro's comment in the chat. He says, "What? No N64 controller love."
The N64 controller is terrible.
Greg, what are your feelings?
I really love the N64.
Yes, right. That's why
Diplomatic. Well done. Well done.
that's why it hurts so bad. It's because like going back to play the Nintendo 64 just sucks now because the
Yeah.
controller is so bad.
It's awful.
But like amazing games, but like most controllers, like the joystick is just loose and terrible because too many spastic kids played Mario Party.
Yeah.
And did
With
that
massive
thing.
blisters on the middle of their hands.
Exactly. Nintendo sold a free glove to Mario Party owners so they can do this.
N64. You'll love this one, Matt.
Mhm.
My N64 console was the Hey You Pikachu console.
Oh, nice. So like the glowing
Yep.
cheeks. Yeah, that's awesome.
Which I still have.
Good
Oh,
man,
good. Hold
man.
on to it.
You
Hold
don't
on
get rid
to
of
it.
shit like that. That's probably worth
Yeah.
a chunk, I'd imagine. I thought they produced a huge amount of those.
No, I think that was pretty late. I mean, I guess it would. Yeah, that's probably around 99, 2000, something like that. Yeah, hold on to that because that's awesome. Yeah, I think you press Pikachu's foot to like reset the game too, don't you?
Yeah, I believe so, if I remember right.
That's cool.
That's good. That's good stuff. Yeah, I like the Pikachu design. 64.
Yeah, I'd lock your windows at night in case Kelsey tries to break in and rob you.
Well,
she'll do it too. She is. I mean, where are you? Where are you at? You're in California, right?
I'm in California, yeah.
I hear they know how to party.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Huw.
According to Tupac.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
no, Kelsey.
Matt, did I
Kelsey,
steal your bad joke for you?
No. I'm just no. It's not a joke. Kelsey will steal stuff from you. She's a criminal.
I'm not talking about that. I'm on about the California partying.
No. I'm not touching that one here.
It was good.
It was fine.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, and Matt, that's a box. There's a box quote for my joke book. If I ever bring one out, Matt says they were fine.
It was fine.
They were fine.
It was ellipsis lowercase fine. Period.
Genius. All right.
Yeah.
I suppose.
The
Right.
Sega Genesis, man, that's a good console to start with.
Yes.
What's a hell of a console to start with?
Yeah, God. Yeah, I love Sega. I think it's time for the Dreamcast too. I think it's time for them to make a comeback. Quit supporting these other consoles and get back in. If Atari can put out the Atari box after all the shit that they've been through, I think it's time for Sega.
You know what's going to happen is around the time Shenmue 3 comes out.
Oh my God!
What they're going to do is going to be like surprise Dreamcast 2.
Dreamcast 2.
And it's on
Dreamcast
this
here.
console. I was reading earlier on. Apparently, they've registered with Steam the details of that game, and apparently,
really?
apparently, it's going to use a minimum of 100 gigabytes of hard drive space.
Holy crap!
That's fucking insane.
I would have assumed that they probably have maybe a character design so far.
The Master Chief collection doesn't take up that much hard drive space.
Wow, I guess I mean that. Yes, that is an asinine amount. That is a stupid amount of space. But honestly, I am dumbfounded because that must mean that they actually have something.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have said, no, we're not going to see Shenmue 3 until 2025 or something like that. There's no way that's coming out anytime soon.
Well,
maybe it will.
Matt, you're going to have to put up with it soon.
Shit.
Have you ever played any of the Shenmue games, Greg?
I have not, but I heard I heard the podcast where you guys talked about it quite.
They were
quite a bit.
Have you ever? Oh, go ahead.
In their day, they were great games. And I think kind of groundbreaking in a way.
Yeah, they're ambitious.
They have not aged well at all.
Hey Greg, have you ever had a boring conversation with someone for 60 hours? If you have, then you played Shenmue.
That's called a family Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I sense Matt has some strong feelings about Shenmue.
It's just dull. It's just I get that it was appealing, but there is no way in hell that I would ever go back and play Shenmue.
No.
It's just like every conversation you have, the guy always just sounds like he's supposed to be like he's looking for his dad, right? That's the plot of Shenmue. Like his dad that mixed up with the Yakuza, and he's trying to help them out, or track down his dad or whatever. But he's like, oh yeah, no, I can drive a forklift and I'll do this for 6 hours. And, oh, did you see my dad? No, but you need help with your groceries? Yeah, okay.
I'll carry this pallet of melons for you. It's fine.
Right, and it's like, why is this 4 disc? Why are there 4 discs to this? Why are you asking me to play 120 hours of nothing? And why did Sega fail? Oh. They put all of their efforts into stuff like this in Seaman.
Seaman.
Yes. They knew what they were doing. But I have to have a healthy amount of space between the words "sea" and "man" when I say that title because
pronunciation is everything.
They drug poor Leonard Nimoy out to do that. Just, come on, man. He deserves better than Seaman.
True.
Ugh,
True. Did he ever do anything else for video games?
Nimoy? I have to imagine he was. That seems like a cross, a nice little cross section there.
I don't know. Maybe we'll research it and do the history of Leonard Nimoy and video games.
I'm sure he had like, come on, he had to narrate something, right?
I suppose. Is that how he chose his
Oh.
jobs? I gotta do something. I'll
That's
just
some
go
kind
do
of boring
this.
ass video game.
Whatever. Yeah.
Maybe he shows up in Shenmue.
I was
I
about to
wouldn't.
say exactly the same thing. Maybe it's
I wouldn't know.
But I think, well, it might be a bit difficult to achieve that now, unless they use like
Yeah.
some weird like voice emulation.
Well, that's the thing. Just have him just take a random quote from like one of his like documentaries that he hosted, and just throw that in there and just weird people out. Like, why is Leonard Nimoy talking about
Yeah.
bird migration?
If you can put Michael Jackson and Tupac on a song in 2018,
That's true.
Yeah.
you
There
can
you go.
put Nimoy in.
Right, exactly. Like, you could design a game around something random that he said.
Yeah. Yeah. Easily. I mean, just take like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few and the one.
Right, yeah.
There
Like,
you go.
have like a CGI Leonard Nimoy for like the entire game, just kind of hanging out, and then finally at the end he says that, and you're like, oh,
Thing is, I suppose maybe that kind of does tie into the ethos of Shenmue, because like he himself has a need to find his dad, but these people need to like unload their stock
Right,
into
yeah.
their shop off the back of a lorry. So
like exactly. Like these people have boring needs that outweighs my missing father.
yeah, and it's like, have you seen my dad? No. Oh, hey, look, a games arcade. I'm gonna go in here.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta play Hang On for 3 hours. I gotta play Afterburner. Like, get your ass back out there and look for your dad. He's getting cut up by the Yakuza, and you're here playing Outrun.
Wouldn't it be great if it like, I don't know if he ever did actually find his dad, because I didn't finish the second one.
I don't know.
But, like,
there's
wouldn't
a
it be-
sequel, so I doubt it.
Wouldn't it be great if, like, in the third one, it's like within 10 minutes you find his dad, and then the rest of it is just like him, like it just cuts
was-
and he's there in the kitchen, like making sushi with his dad.
I like. Well, it would be as exciting as the first two games. But like, I would like it if like he just gets back to his apartment. He's like, Dad. And he's like, I just went out to get some cigarettes, man. I didn't mean to. What were you doing on a forklift for 5 hours?
It's like every time I tried to find you, you was somewhere else, and I just missed you.
Jeez. Were you playing Golden Axe in that fake arcade for 6 hours?
To be fair, I think we might have just created a superior version of Shenmue.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm suing if
Like-
Shenmue 3 has a lot of what we just talked about in it.
Self-aware Shenmue. Might be the best thing ever.
I wonder how many Kickstarter supporters of Shenmue are listening to us and saying, "Shut up, you assholes."
None. Greg.
I'm the supporter for that.
No.
Greg, yeah.
No.
He donated so much. He's on the credits. He's in the credits for the game. He's got a producer
Congratulations. You'll get to see your name on a PS5 game in 6 years.
My life achievement.
You finally made it.
credit. Yeah. So in short, Greg, if you ever get a chance to play Shenmue, don't bother.
Yeah. There's better things to do with your time, like clip your fingernails, stare at the wall, think about. Yeah,
Watch some paint dry.
yeah. Look up Leonard Nimoy documentary. See if there's anything good there.
Google Atari Jaguar controllers.
Yeah, buy an Atari Jaguar controller. Do anything but play Shenmue.
Oh, I don't know. I think that might be a step too far.
Yeah, don't do that. You can probably buy a Dreamcast for the price of an Atari Jaguar controller. So buy a Dreamcast, but
True.
don't play Shenmue on it. Play Typing of the Dead or some Marvel vs. Capcom. Have fun with it.
A Soulstone.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of the Skies of Arcadia and stuff like that. There you go. There's fun out there to be had.
First
Go
online
ahead.
game I ever played was on Dreamcast with Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Star. You have a Dreamcast keyboard?
Yeah, I did back then.
Yeah, right on. Me too. I got
Yeah.
one too. I bought one for Typing of the Dead. I found it in Chicago, and I was like, I'm carrying this home with me. this asinine, stupid purchase, but ooh boy, am I going to play some Typing of the Dead, and I did.
That sounds like the greatest game ever. Typing.
It's not
of the
bad.
Dead.
It's not bad. It's not bad. That might have to be once I get a new setup and a place where I can hook my Dreamcast up conveniently. I might have to stream some Typing of the Dead.
I think you should.
Yeah, I got to justify that stupid purchase. Not the dumbest purchase I ever made, video game related, but probably up there.
In terms of like your personal safety, I'm hoping it's one of the more smart ones as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what's the dumbest thing I've ever bought for a video game. I don't think I have anything too exciting.
Yeah, no, but you've met some like strangers in car parks.
I've met strangers in cars. Yeah, I've done stuff like that where like like I'm putting my life in my hands for a copy of F-Zero X. I got to reevaluate myself here.
Oh, what you could do is take Greg with you because Greg's like strong enough to pick up cars and stuff.
Yeah, we'll meet in the middle somewhere in like New Mexico.
Yeah. Like if
I'm
you
sure
go on Greg's Twitter, there's like tons of videos of him picking up really heavy stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like to do on my downtime when I'm not playing video games or reading comics.
Yeah, picking up heavy stuff.
Yeah.
What's the heaviest video game thing we could do?
the heaviest video game cartridge you've ever picked?
The original Xbox. Probably up there.
Sure.
A Commodore 64.
Probably true, yeah. Okay. Maybe we should do that. We should get you back on. We should like find out like the weight of every game console ever. And
can he pick up a Pac-Man machine?
We can ask Greg like how much he can bench and then put it into.
Wait,
like,
have you picked up an arcade machine?
Yeah, not not by myself completely, but yes. So I used to work at like this arcade family fun center while I was going to college, and we had to sit there and move some of the games from the arcade to the warehouse, and to do that we had to move them from the arcade onto the truck. So it was me and my coworker and our manager with a dolly picking up these arcade games and hoisting them onto the truck.
Nice.
They're not light.
No, they're full of a lot of unnecessary heavy parts. Especially that screen. The screen of an arcade machine is like antimatter. Like just.
Oh, but they essentially like CRT TVs just in the top of a wooden box.
But like high intensity ones that were supposed to be designed to be turned on forever. And yeah, they're dense. They're like those professional video monitor things. But yes, no, I'm impressed. You can pick up I wonder what the heaviest arcade cabinet is. Like a regular arcade cabinet, not one of those like afterburner hang on things. I bet it's Sinistar because it's full of evil.
It's possible.
It's fine.
Literally is the actual dark matter inside it.
I have an adult fear of Sinistar. Like I hate that guy. Whenever he shows up, he is scary, and whenever he does the like, he calls you like coward like that, and then like you just hear him go. Argh! No, it's not for
Matt
me.
just crawls into the corner and cries.
There's too many moments as a 6-year-old boy hanging out at a cigarette-filled roller rink, trying to play Sinistar and hearing him growl at me and just thinking, "Fuck this! This is terrifying. I'm gonna go watch the bloody shit in Mortal Kombat. This is awful. This evil space Satan growling at me. No, thank you, Sinistar. Ugh, he's horrible."
That was a deep dive into Matt's childhood.
Yeah, I really. There's an arcade over here in town, and they have a Sinistar, and every time I just hear him go, beware, I live. And I'm just like, oh, fuck you, man. You're scary as fuck.
I'm gonna
Eat
try and
space.
I'm gonna try
Sorry.
and find some video of that on YouTube and like send it to you in the middle of the night.
Please don't. He's so creepy looking. He eats spaceships and shit. Like, fuck that guy.
So I have some new memes to make for Matt.
Yes.
Let's
I'm
mentally
sure
destroy
there's
Matt.
gifts to like gonna start laughing. It would, yeah. It would not. It would. Please don't abuse this power. I gave you information. Do not take advantage of
It's
it.
probably not us you're gonna have to worry about, but Kelsey's probably gonna hear this. And/or
It'll be
Danica.
worth it. It'll be worth it to make Kelsey do some deep research into figuring out what Sinistar is and like learning about a video game that was made before, like 10 years before she was made. I'm totally willing to have the shit scared out of me, if it meant she had to do the research on that.
Okay, fair enough. I'll have to make sure this happens.
Ugh. I literally got like a cold shiver just thinking about that guy. He's all spiky and shit. Like, fuck that. God damn.
So Huw, do you have any characters from games that
Irrational fears.
The angry son from Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh yeah, that would be one.
It's terrifying.
Imagine that existed in real life.
Just swings down and tries to trip you.
Yeah. Oh, he wouldn't do that. He just incinerate you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think probably like the one that definitely stuck with me when I was first playing it was probably like the creepy nurses in Silent Hill.
Oh fuck yeah! Okay,
Yeah.
that's like real scary shit.
Those things creep me the fuck out.
Baraka from Mortal Kombat 2 is fucking creepy. Like that's a guy I wouldn't want to hang out with. It's got like knives in his wrist and like those crazy teeth. Nah.
It's fair enough.
No, thank you.
How about you,
No,
Greg?
thank you. Greg's like, I ain't scared of shit. Yeah. So I can kick anything. So I kick Sinistar's ass. I wish you would.
This
But high time that motherfucker learned a lesson.
Sorry, he picks up everything so he can fuck up anything that comes towards his,
My problem is I love horror, so I play a lot of. I'll play horror games and I watch a lot of horror movies. So.
So shit from like Doom and Resident Evil doesn't do anything for you.
No.
I wouldn't say Doom's particularly scary anyway.
There's. I don't like those dog guys that like that like snarl and growl. I don't like those guys in Doom. And I don't like the fat. I mean, I like the new Doom. The new Doom, it's not as scary, but like the DOS Doom, once again, when I was a kid, and like those fat guys with like the guns, like the big barrel guns.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you. My God.
Have either of
Thanks,
you played,
John Carmack.
The Evil Within?
Yes.
Okay.
So you remember the Spider Woman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate her.
That's pretty. That's no good.
Yeah.
She contorts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly
That's
because she kept killing me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time it's that's the same as with that nurse thing in Silent Hill for me. Is like I think it was just the way it moved more than like how it looked.
Do you remember in Ocarina of Time those zombie naked guys that like just do that thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up. Those guys are no good.
Yeah. Yeah, they were kind of unnecessary. They were real creepy.
And then there's the Zelda, the fingernail monster in Ocarina of Time. That's no good either. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's some fucked up stuff in video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't like like Silent Hill, for example. Like they will have like the spooky kids. I don't like spooky kids.
No.
Yeah. Like
No.
I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Did y'all play PT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I still have it saved on my PS4 because I apparently like to harbor dark evil, but yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
Yep. That game is fucking. Bleh, that was creepy ass shit.
Yeah. Like the first time you just walk in and you look up and like on the balcony of the second floor you just see a person there. Ooh.
Yeah.
No good. No good. Hideo Kojima. Go make your Death Stranding game with Norman
It's
Reedus.
such a clever thing though, because it was just like, because you're repeating the same thing
Right,
over
yeah.
and over again, it just sort of teaches you to expect things, and then it just plays on that. And
God,
like,
imagine if you would have made a whole game.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They
Would have been terrifying.
that moment where you come around the corner and that one door like opens a little bit, and then you look through it, and then there's like that fucking woman in there. She's like, "Get out!" She just slams the door. I was just like,
Yeah.
ah. I think there's
Or like
actually
this spooky baby thing that's in the sink. I
mm,
don't like
I
that.
think actually on my buried on my Facebook timeline somewhere is footage I captured of me, like about 2 minutes of me playing PT, and like I legitimately just like scream in one part. I'm just like, fuck this, fuck this,
Yeah.
fuck this. I don't want to play this
Yeah.
anymore.
And then get the microphone out and like whisper the thing at certain moments, and I just fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I don't like communicating with it. I don't like having because if you do that, it requires you to like put the headphones on, and then it's in your head, man. It's no good. What is up with the world, man? Sinistar. Imagine if Sinistar shows up in PT. That'd be awful. Coward. No good. Spaceship eating motherfucker.
Greg, I think we've broken Matt.
I am completely destroyed.
Well, broke him further, shall we say?
Yeah, no, I'm already a cracked egg.
All right.
Cool.
I'm about ready to call this thing because
Yeah,
it's
I know,
hotter
it's
than
been-
the sun in this room, and I need to open some doors and windows.
It's also nice to give
Before I
you an
die.
opportunity to do something. He has time off now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go immediately to bed.
Yeah. It's not going to be 1 o'clock in the morning when I crawl into bed. Well, it probably
Exactly.
will be, but tonight because it's Friday. But you know,
But it wouldn't be because of us.
no, exactly. It was my own stupid fault, and I won't
There we
get up
go.
until about midday tomorrow anyway.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. That's,
Thank you for joining us, Greg.
Yeah, Greg. Where can the people find you on all those social media platforms?
You can find me on Twitter at HulkBeast51, and on, like Joey says, on the Instas at HulkBeast.
Nice.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Joey doesn't do it all creepy like Matt.
Oh, Hugh. You don't mean that.
No, I don't. I love having you right up in my ears.
Hugh, where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me at H_Paz on Twitter, and I am also on the Insta at HughPaz, HUWPAZ.
Well, it's real simple to find me because I'm at Johnny Matt Wood on both Twitter and Instagram.
See what I mean? You can almost hear the saliva.
But you can also find Talking Games if you want to get in contact. Email us at games@talkingcomicbooks.com.
Even after
we
you
are
experienced that, yeah.
We're at talkingvideogames.com. On Twitter, we are at talking_games. YouTube.com/talkinggamesvideos. Twitch.tv/talkinggames. And once again, we are a humble partner in which you can find out more on the website.
Uh-huh.
But that is going to wrap it up for episode 201 of the Talking Games podcast. Until next time, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, good job, Greg. You did it right.
Yay.
It takes a
You got it
while.
better than I did the first
Yeah.
time. Although, to be fair, the first time Bobby did it, he just dropped it on us, and I was just like, what?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened in my first episode, too, where it's just like, what are we doing? Do we say bye to each other? I don't know what we're doing,
Yeah.
man.
So,
But until next time, be good to one another.
adios.